On this episode, we're going to talk about Goalie Island. What is it? Is it a real place, or is it like some tropical island stuck out in the middle of the ocean with white sandy beaches and a tiki bar? If you'd like to know more, stick around and we'll talk about this magical place. So let's fire it up.
This is the Dark Side of the Mask podcast, a Goalies Matter production. This podcast will give you an inside look behind the mask, both the physical one worn by goalies and the emotional one we use to hide our burdens we carry. We'll address the issues affecting goalies' mental health and help you see the light. We want you to know that you are not alone in this fight. So let's fight this battle together.
Welcome to the Dark Side of the Mask, and I'm your host, Coach Giggs, and we're joined today with our co-host, Rachel Costello, and today we're going to discuss this special island called Goalie Island. What is this place? Where does this exist? Is it a real island? Does it hang out in the Pacific Ocean with white sandy beaches and a tiki bar? I don't know. We're gonna get into how this affects us physically, mentally, and emotionally, and let you know how you can overcome these challenges. So not only can you see the light, but help you get off of the island as well. So let's fire it up. Rachel, you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right. For those who don't know, there is this magical place called Goalie Island. Some people have heard of it. Some people have not. You can't really take a plane to it. You can't really take a boat to it. You just find yourself on this magical island. Some people wonder if it's real or not. But I can tell you 100% it's totally real. No doubt about it. But it's also made up at the same time. So joining us is Rachel. Welcome, Rachel. What is your take on Goalie Island before I get into my soapbox?
Oh my goodness. My take on Goalie Island is I think every goalie has a ticket there. Every goalie's got a ticket right there, and it's up to you to decide if you're going to, live there and stay there, or if you're going to book a plane ticket back.
Exactly. And so, yes, Goalie Island is 1,000% real. And for those wondering, there is no physical island. Yes, it is kind of made up. It's not out in the Pacific Ocean, does not have white sandy beaches. But Goalie Island is a metaphorical and emotional place where we tend to feel as goaltenders isolated, alone. There are no fans, there's no support, there's no friends, no teammates. No one who truly understands what it feels like to be a goalie, other than another goalie, really. It's not tropical, it's definitely not fun, not a happy place. It's more like a place of desolation, despair, depression, kind of a gray matter type situation. Not sunny, with blue skies and crystal blue water. The water is relatively murky at best. So how do we get here? It's easy, right? Bad performances, being a little bit different, not accepted in the community, acting, not like everybody else. We look weird. We're not the status quo. We're like circus animals for the most part. People come to see us, and if we don't live up to their expectations, then, oh, well, they just lost out on their ticket. The only other occupants on this lovely island are goalies. I mean, it's a place built for one. I know I've been in this place more times than not. I know, Rachel, what are your thoughts? Have you ever been to Goalie Island?
I've been to Goalie Island multiple times, at multiple different ages and stages of my playing time. I mean, I remember I want to talk about like the first time I was on Goalie Island, or I remember being there. I was, probably like 6th grade, and I was. Giggs, you might not believe me by me saying this right now, but I was a very shy and quiet kid. I didn't talk to a lot of people. I didn't like speaking aloud. I didn't like speaking up or sharing my opinions or saying anything. And so I was a very quiet, shy kid. And I got told that goalies talk to people and goalies yell at people in the goal. And I remember thinking, like, I can't do this. This is the reason I'm not going to be a goalie, because I just did not like. I don't like confrontation. I don't like yelling at people. It just did not sit right with me for probably a year, until I was like, okay, I see other goalies doing this, and I see that this is what I should be doing, and I should be telling my defenders, and they're asking me to tell them where the ball is and where to slide and everything like that. But I remember that was like my first place of like, I don't want to speak in the goal, and I don't want to talk because I'm different than everybody else. Like, no one else is calling the ball or or anything like that. I mean, in 6th grade, girls lacrosse, no
Right.
one was. But now, obviously, it's very normal to be calling for the ball and everything like that. And I was just like, I felt so different and so weird and so out of place for a while, in that scenario. And even though it was something I should be doing and I am encouraged to be doing, I just felt weird and felt like on Goalie Island.
Yeah, I mean, and so bringing up the communication standpoint is kind of, it relates to a lot of kids out there today because as a goalie growing up and having gone to camps multiple times, and they're always telling you, you have to speak up, you have to call ball location, you have to tell where the defenseman is or where the cutters are coming from. And for somebody who's shy, and here's a shocking thing, you're going to probably fall off your rocker when I tell you this one. I never really spoke a whole lot. Similar to you, I didn't really speak up in class. I didn't have any girlfriends growing up for the most part because I didn't really have the nerve to talk to anybody. I was kind of a mute student. I didn't like to be in the limelight whatsoever. didn't want to be in the spotlight whatsoever for that, for obvious reasons because I was a little bit different. I didn't want to throw people off and think that I'm trying to fit in with everybody and not try to be the oddball out because I didn't want to go to this magical place of Goalie Island. But the funny thing is through my experiences of being a goalie, through going to camp and stuff like that, I realized, I go to my first goalie camp and there's 80 some goalies there. It was Bill Pilot's goalie school. And there was 80 goalies. I'm like, holy shit, they're all doing the same thing. They're all speaking. I mean, it was crazy town how loud it was at camp. And I'm like, well, these are my people. I get this. They get me. So
I can speak now.
I can speak now. So now all of a sudden I start going back and next thing you know, coaches are always like, hey, Giggs, we need you to speak up. Giggs, we need you to speak up. You need to call ball location. So I started with ball location. Then I started branching out. Started saying, hey, there's cutters coming through. Hey, who's got the hot? Who's got the two? And so the more and more I started to talk and more the coaches were pushing the defenders to, hey, you need to listen to Giggs. You need to listen to what he's saying. He's your eyes in the back of your head. So you're facing your player, your guy you're defending, you're looking at the ball, whatever the case may be. Giggs is going to got your back. He's going to be looking at the ball. You have to listen to him. So then all of a sudden, I realized, okay, I am the voice of the defense, basically, even though the defense should be talking to one another. If the defense isn't going to talk, I'm going to be the one talking. Next thing you know, I can't shut up. And so then, what next thing you know, now I get into college, and next thing you know, I'm trash talking the attackman with my defenders, even though they kind of had my number a couple times. But the key thing is now at this point, you couldn't shut me up. I just kept talking and talking. I gained, I had a girlfriend in college, things like that. But that's what happens when you have to kind of go outside that comfort zone. Again, I talked about this in other podcasts, is the only way to grow is to push those comfort boundaries, right? If you're always stuck in your ways and you're very comfortable there, you're never really going to grow. So you got to get over those boundaries in order to grow. So once I started to do that, I realized, hey, I already know if all else fails, I can think back to my time at goalie camp. There's 80 goalies. Every goalie camp I went to, they did the exact same thing. I'm no different than they are. If people think I'm a little bit different, that's fine. I am my own person. But if you want to put me on Goalie Island, you're more than welcome to, just because I'm talking more than you are, because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. If you don't want to listen, that's totally up to you. You got to deal with coach if you're not listening to me. But if I'm calling things out, that's number one. You literally have to be that individual and have to speak up for yourself. Are you going to get things wrong sometimes? Absolutely. 100%.
We're the eyes of the field.
100%. So where Goalie Island comes into play is, again, it comes down to performance, right? Communication is part of that performance element, right? So obviously when you play great, they're high-fiving you, they're patting you on the back. At least most good teams will do that, right? Some people still want to go give little Johnny or little Jane a high five because, they scored the most goals in the game, whatever, and they team on their back. For the most part, the good teams are without a doubt thanking the goalies for everything that they've been doing. But when things go sideways and you lose the game, it's the other way around. And so it's not so much they're not patting you on the back, it's the isolation. It's we're not going to talk to the goalie. He lost the game for us, or she lost the game for us. They didn't do anything. Their job was to stop the goals from going in, but they didn't do their job, so they can't hang with us because we're the cool people. We're the attackers. We're the midfielders. We do all the work for the team. Goalies don't do anything.
They can't do no wrong.
Right, exactly. I mean,
They never mess up.
they never mess up. There's only,
They never mess up.
there's 3 attackers, there's 3 midfielders. They didn't do anything wrong. I mean, they couldn't put the ball in the back of the goal, but that's not,
Yeah.
that's because that's our fault too, apparently. Because they couldn't get the ball. Well, I mean, if they actually protected the ball, then maybe I wouldn't have to deal with.
I can't go score.
Exactly. In the girls' game, you can't go down and score.
I can't go score.
Absolutely,
I can't do that
bullshit.
for you.
That rule is absolutely bullshit. But I get it.
I know.
Understandable. So
Let me have a goal.
right, that's what I'm talking about. So I mean, so there's the performance element that really plays into a factor. So they isolate you because you're not like them. You're not part of the cool kids, right? And you can't score goals and you can't do anything positive for the team other than stand there and be a pincushion. And that's the part that I think most kids have a hard time dealing with, is that it's really hard to be that in that role, or you could be the saving grace or you could be the punching bag.
Yep.
You pick which element you want to be in, and the thing is we have to play both those roles. And the worst part about it, and it always gets me a little emotional because it pisses me off the most, is the fact that it doesn't just stem from the players, but it overflows into the stands. It could be fans, I don't give a shit. That's fine. You're going to have people that want to blame the goalie, no problem. But when the parents blame the goalies, players on the team, I mean, that's fucking bullshit. I'm not going to lie about that. That is just garbage. And I don't want to say it starts from the top down. Coaches need to control that kind of element as well. But for those listening, if you're in the stands and you're a parent, please talk to these parents and be like, we're all on the same team together. Like, there's no reason to bring somebody else down. This is why I just shared a funny little TikTok reel or Instagram post, and people have shared these reels before. Like, how can you tell you're the goalie's parent? Because they're sitting at the far end of the rink or at the far end of the field, away from all you people. Because they're not getting it. They don't get the concept. They give a great save, everyone cheers. If they give up a goal, the goalie fucking sucks again.
Why do you think my dad took pictures?
Exactly.
He had to get away from them all.
The funny thing is, here you go. Let's go to the Porter round. When I first met Trina Porter, where is she? She's taking photos of her kids. Why? Because 2 of her 3 daughters play goalie. So she had to go somewhere to kind of not deal with the parents. Of course, Robert was the same way. Robert Porter, their dad, also did the same thing. He never really hung out in the stands either. He kind of hung down off the goal line near Maddie, near Mac, and that's just the way he was. So goalie parents do it because they don't want to hear the negative comments. Yeah, you're going to hear the positive, like, great save, goalie. But that's the funny part, right? How many times do they ever call the goalie's name?
Never.
It's always.
I guarantee you, I'm pretty sure a lot of the parents in the stands, they knew who I was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They knew me. We've gone out to dinner and stuff, but I think still during the game, they still said, "Great save, goalie." It's just the norm now.
It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. We have names. Everybody else's names on the field, but you don't know the goalie. Great save, goalie. I'm sorry.
I feel like I get that on both sides now. Being a goalie and a photographer. Oh my goodness, the picture taker's here. I have a name.
Exactly. Hey, photographer, a picture over here.
Yeah. Hey.
I'm pretty sure you didn't just introduce yourself as, "Hi, I'm the photographer." No,
yep.
You're probably
"Hi, I'm the goalie."
Rachel. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm the goalie. I'm here to do goalie.
I'm here to save stops. Save balls.
Exactly. So these are things that tend to isolate us, and that's why we get put on this goalie island, because people want to isolate us because we are different. We're not like all the cool people. We're not in the norm like everybody else is, and so we're the one who doesn't have 2 additional people, one on either side of us, that can bail us out when we need to, or when we can't pick up a fucking ground ball. And I have 2 other people that can get the ground ball. So anyways, those are my 2 cents. But anyways, so other things that kind of set us apart from everybody else, and I'll let you talk on this one, but there is a common theme. I would say at least half the goalies look a little different. They all have their own kind of quirkiness to them, and you always tend to wonder, are they're the goalie. I bet you anything they're the goalie on the team.
Yep.
What are you doing? So now they're isolating us again because they're picking us out because we look different, we dress different. We don't have mental health issues because we want to wear khaki pants and you want to wear shorts, or just using that as an example, right? I mean, or we want to dye our hair a different color or shave all of our hair off, but you guys want to have the flow coming out of the back of your helmet. I mean, And in the girls' game, it's probably even more that way.
Yeah. I mean, we're the only ones on the field who actually have equipment on.
Exactly.
So we stick out like a sore thumb. I mean, like you can't look at the team and be like, yep, there's the goalie. You know, you just can for a lot of, especially for the girls' game. It's just like, I mean, most of the time we're the only ones wearing sweatpants out there too. So
Exactly.
I mean, shout out Easton because I mean,
man will wear them in 150 degree
I'm
weather.
I'm gonna wear them. You're gonna wear them. You're gonna wear them.
150 degree heat, he'll still wear sweatpants. You know, and so that's the other thing too. So what's kind of nice is like, okay, like this is why I love Lindsay Steubenvall. For those who know who she is, she's a senior right now at Jack Britt High School in North Carolina. Was my intern last year at our camp. She's been on the Lax Goalie Rat podcast. She's like a 4'11" frame, but she plays like a 6'7" giant, and she's a little bit crazy, and I love her.
I know. I think we're twins, honestly.
Right, exactly. And you're like, you know, how do you know who she is? You know she's the goalie because she has the greatest sock game I have ever seen. So, and that's the other thing. Everyone else is wearing white socks, and then there's the goalie who wears different color socks. Yes, we're looking a little different, but that doesn't mean you need to isolate us, right? We have to be our own person because we're the only individual that has to play as an individual on the field, where everybody else gets to play in teams. Team of three, team of three, team of three. It's how it goes. 3 defenders, 3 attack, 3 middies, right? So you have your playing partners. I didn't got a playing partner.
It's me and the wall. It's me and the goal. I don't know about you, but I talk to my goal.
Exactly. We're
friends. We go way back.
Yeah. So that puts us on an island, and we talk about the ironic part of it all is we play in the crease. What do typical most islands that you think of in your head are? It's circular in the middle of the ocean with a whole bunch of other people around, right? That's pretty much what we're at. We're literally on an island. So is there a physical place? Yeah, it's called the crease. That's our element of Goalie Island.
It's my home.
Exactly. And then the other thing too is, just bringing this up is, so besides looking different and our performance affecting how we get put on Goalie Island, it's also, our social well-being, our social influence, or our social interaction in society, right? Do we feel like we talked about? Yeah, we're very vocal on the field, but sometimes we're kind of, you wouldn't know if a goalie is introverted or extroverted until you get them off the field, right? I mean, like I said, I was an introvert for so long until I went to my first goalie camp. And then actually after my last goalie camp and went to college, then I became more of an extrovert, and people will tell me, geez, Gigs, you don't ever fucking shut up. That's my answers are never short. They're very long-winded. And everybody at camp knows that too. And people who know me is because, but that doesn't mean that, we have to be isolated because, we're super extroverted. There are a lot of kids that are very vocal on the field, but they want to be kind of introverted off the field. And that's okay, but that doesn't mean you isolate us. People can be a little bit different. It's okay. Goalies are going to be a little bit different, a little bit weird. And I tell my campers, and I tell the students this all the time. I've told you this. If you're not weird, then I don't know who you are, because that's the norm for goaltenders. If they say, she's crazy, yep, that's normal to me. So to me, it's a compliment.
Got to be a little crazy to want to stand in the goal and get 90-mile-an-hour shots thrown at you. But You got to have someone to do it.
Somebody has to.
Somebody's got to do it.
If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it, right?
I know.
But again, nobody wants to take on the blame for a goal going in, because they just don't have thick as tough skin as we do. So anyways.
There's only a certain amount of people that can be on Goalie Island.
There really is, and I can tell you this, that, through my experiences, I've been on island plenty of times, even after, I can tell you this, when I was in college was the number one, for, the lacrosse house was the lacrosse house, and we had many guys that all got together, but it was always the goalies who were never part of the lacrosse house. Yeah, we may have partied there a few times, but we were never invited. We just kind of went there. No one said, hey, Gigs, we're having a party this weekend. I would hear from friends who just came from the lacrosse house, as I was a fraternity brother, because I felt closer to my fraternity brothers than I ever did my lacrosse, my teammates, for obvious reasons. And they never invited the goalies. Even the senior goalie when I was there, he was a little different. He, again, ceramic engineers are a little bit different in general. But anyways, he he would only show up for an hour or so, and then he left. And then no one knew where he went to. He did his own thing with his own people. And it was kind of like with me too. I mean, I went back to my fraternity house and I hung out with my brothers because I just wasn't part of the cool crowd. I wasn't, hanging around the same kind of people. Now, granted, transplant, I was from Michigan and everybody else there was from New York. So go figure that one. Like, let's isolate the out-of-staters. Go figure. Another reason to put a goalie on it's Goalie Island. But that's the thing, and that's the other thing too is even when I was at New York, like there was once the final 3 kids came in behind me, 2 of them were from out of state, and the other 2 were from New York. So you had myself from Michigan, a kid from St. Louis, a kid from Pennsylvania, and then you had 2 kids from New York. And the thing is like immediately the out of staters kind of hung out together, and we were goalies. Goalies are typically from out of state sometimes. Another reason to treat us differently. But I'm like, we're still humans. We're still the same people, and we're still goalies. I mean, we're part of the team. Why do you have to treat us differently because we're not from your state of New York? So I mean, it's going to come up later on from when I talk hotbeds versus non-hotbeds. But
yeah, I feel like I always like felt different, like on the field coming back from an injury.
Right. Yep.
I always felt like that was where I like never really thought about it, but like coming back from an injury, like I had gotten, I think it was my sophomore year, I got drilled in like the top of my ankle, I think like 8 times in a week. And it was like back to back, like game, practice. I was just getting drilled on the same spot. I ended up getting like a super deep bone bruise on my ankle and went to the local urgent care and they put me in a boot. So I was in a boot for like a couple weeks. And then, going back to play, I was so scared to get back in the goal. Cause it's not like, I feel like it was similar to like if you have an injury and you're trying to like start and stop or something, like that's going to be scary to do that. But it was after like just getting my ankle killed by getting hit over and over and over again, doing the thing that I have to do. Obviously I made the saves, it hit my foot. So I'm happy that I made the saves, but I got hurt making those saves. So it's like tricking your brain again to say, all right, how do I feel comfortable doing what just got me injured again? Because there's, if you're a field player, okay, I got injured doing this. Let me not do that again to not injure myself. But I got injured doing the thing that I'm supposed to do. I was doing everything properly.
Yeah.
I just got hit with the ball and it made me get injured. So it's just like, I feel like returning after getting hurt or like a concussion, I feel like is the biggest injury that goalies have to come back from. And just like, you got hit in the head. You made the save though, but you got a concussion. You got to get back in the goal again. And I feel like that is like the biggest Goalie Island hurdle and the most alone I've felt on Goalie Island. And I think that having to vouch for yourself is the most important thing to do, like coming back from an injury, because at our practices in college, there was a lot of times that I wouldn't see as many shots on a certain practice, or there would be like before games we're focusing more on, running through the play. So I'm not going to see shots, but I had only gotten 1 practice under my belt after coming back from an injury, and I didn't see a lot of shots that day. So saying, I don't really necessarily need to learn the attack plays. So can I bring so-and-so over so then I can get shots, so I can actually see shots to prepare me for the game? Because the at least for my team, we didn't have a goalie coach. We didn't have anybody specifically for goalies. So really having to like say, I need this to help me perform for you. Like, you're my coach and I want to perform well for not only you, but for the team. Can I go do this? And that's the small school situation that I was in at Concordia. But just like vouching for yourself and making sure, like, yeah, you might be on Goalie Island, but people can still see you.
Yep.
And making sure that you're vouching for yourself is really important.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I know I didn't have that in my talking point. Injuries right now to this day are probably the leading cause of putting anybody on an island. Even dealing with, there's one girl I saw on social media. She's a soccer player, and she keeps getting injured. Well, every time you get injured, you immediately, it's like life doesn't stop, right? Like, sports don't stop. Lacrosse doesn't stop. They're going to keep preparing for the next game and the rest of the season, things like that. But when you get injured and you're out, it's like time out. It's like a big pause in your life. They're still moving, and you've slowed down to a stop. And you're like, guess what? Well, you got injured. What's going to happen now? Well, you can't participate in sports, can't participate in practice. If you're able to go out to practice and watch from the sidelines, you can. Depends on how the coaches and the athletics training staff treat that, because sometimes I know when I got injured, right, I mean, it's going to set you back. No doubt about it. So everyone keeps moving, and you're at this standstill. I can't get past this wall because I am stuck in this injury phase. So I have to detour. I have to go down south, right, maybe to Goalie Island, hang out until I can recover. And then when I come back, we may not be the same, because while you're going through recovery or you're going through rehab, the team is practicing. The team is doing this. So you're more isolated from the team, because the training staff, the athletic trainers, and it's this is the problem with being a non-revenue sport. Other things take precedence. Football teams, basketball teams, hockey teams, softball, you name it, they're going to take precedence over something like lacrosse sometimes, depending on the school. And so they're going to say, well, I can't get you into rehab, at this time. You're going to have to do it during practice time. The hell?
Yeah. So then you're not even being able to see the defenses set up and making sure that you're knowing how to properly communicate back to that, because you're not seeing that.
Or making adjustments, right? I know. And in the college game, it's even worse, because you're in scout mode sometimes. So if you're trying to help out with a scout or something like that, what if you have a small injury and you can come back on Saturday and you're in rehab like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are kind of your trailing off period. So you're tailing off and you're prepping for Saturday. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're kind of getting through the rest of, okay, here are the things we need to work on. Here are the things that they're going to be throwing at us. This is what we have to be prepared for. And you're not there because you're trying to rehabilitate whatever your injury is. Or if you're in concussion mode, you might as well just pull yourself off the team at that rate, because by the time you clear protocol, you could be halfway through the season before that is over. So injury is a huge thing, and also has led to a lot of student-athlete suicides, unfortunately. When you read some of the stories of kids who have died by suicide, there's a lot of it stemmed from an injury. They couldn't come back from it, and that was their whole life. They put their time and money and energy into everything, into the sport that they love the most, and then they get this injury, and they're like, "Sorry, you can't come back. You can't come back. You have to repair it, or you have that torn ACL." But I don't know what to do when I've been training all the time. I get up, I train in the middle of the day. I have practice, and then I have this, and then all of a sudden they tell you, "Nope, can't do that, can't do that, can't do that," because you're either recovering, then you rehabilitate, and you might need to get surgery. Well, now you went from 4 weeks to possibly a year to come back 100%, and that's where that life that you lived for so long takes a back seat. And that's where things get really, really hard, because some kids just can't handle that stuff, because they want to keep competing at the highest possible level.
Yeah.
So
it's also hard coming back from an injury and
for sure.
Being able to play, but not being able to play the same as you were before your injury. I think that's also really hard to grasp and realize afterwards, especially ACL injuries are really, really bad with that, because you're not going to be able to perform at your same level as you were before. I mean, you definitely can. It's not impossible to do that, but it's I didn't have an ACL injury. I broke my thumb one season, and because I kept playing with it with a broken thumb, it messed it up even longer, and it's not the same. But, it's just I can't hold the stick the same because of this minor injury that happened, a couple of years ago. But it's had to adapt and hold the stick a little bit differently since then. And it's just there's little things that you're going to have to fix and change and adapt to and improvise and, figure that out. But it's important that, you're still... I mean, I think that Goalie Island is so isolating that you can really just fester and just overthink and just be so down in the dumps of, I got my injury, this is where I'm at right now. But this is why we have this podcast. This is why we're doing all of this other stuff, because Goalie Island isn't as lonely as it used to be. Because I have so many other people who if I'm on Goalie Island, I have other goalies who are going to come to Goalie Island and support me there and
Yep.
get me back. So
Yeah,
I
I
feel
mean,
like that's important to have as well.
for sure. And that's my last topic, last touching point on the injury thing, because that's a big deal. As goalies, we're naturally going to be in that position to get injured. We're injury prone because we're the ones, again, who's the lucky people that want to step between a 6x6 goal and get shots ripped at them with the potential of getting hit in the shoulder, knee, elbow, thigh, groin area, or in the head for that matter. And I'm sure kids don't mean to do it on purpose, but it comes with the territory. You're going to probably, back up my day, because again, this dates me, right? We just called it a headache, right? You saw the crazy birds. Yeah, we did. No big deal. Nowadays, it's called a concussion, and you have to go through protocol and things like that. But it's serious, and it's because shots are getting harder, and whether it be from the girls or from the guys' side, shots are going to, accidentally, you're going to get hit in the head. And you're going to be able to figure out how to come back from they say, you know what, we have to go through protocol. It's going to take a week. And so those are things that it's hard to overcome. And so again, when you can't participate, then the team immediately isolates you because you're not hanging with the team because you're doing whatever you need to do to recover. It's not anything. It's out of your control. Again, we'll talk about controllables and uncontrollables at a later time. But you can't control injuries. You can't control how you come back other than just stick to what the doctors say. And then once you get to Goalie Island, right, this is where we're getting to is next, is understanding that we're not the only ones anymore. Like, you're right, back in my day, you got put in this island, you're like, okay, well, it's just me. But nowadays, it's turning into a parties, right?
Yeah.
Because there's more of us out there, and when goalies start to understand that the community is bigger than they might actually think, we're all on this island together. And so if we're going to, we might as well party together, right? So now we get into is how do we get off Goalie Island, right? And I wish there was an easy answer, but there really is only one answer, and that is saying, who wants to join? Because we're taking numbers right now. So you want to come aboard? We're going to open you with welcome arms. I've always preached that any way to get through anything difficult is to do it with others. Those who support you, strengthen numbers by any stretch of the means. The more people who understand you, the easier it is to get through the tough times. Reaching out to fellow goalies, either from other club teams, high school teams, tournament teams, even on social media, because there's so many out there. Just touch base with them. Throw a DM out there like, oh my God, you went through that. I did the exact same thing and I want to help you, or maybe you can help me with something, right? I bet if you ask any goalie how they're doing today, they'll tell you, you could be straight up honest. Like I said, ask any individual you see on social media and be like, hey, are you doing okay today? You can reach out to them and find like, who are you? I'm like, well, let me explain who I am, right? And they're like, I'm a goalie myself. How can I help you? Because I bet you're struggling too. We bought it, we all bought, as a goalie, we bought a one-way ticket to Goalie Island. So as soon as we signed up, step between the pipes, the goalie community as a whole is occupying the island. I can now officially say that Goalies Matter has now opened a bar where everyone is welcomed. And for our refreshments, we offer up support, sportsmanship, community, unity, and love. And so our best-selling menu item than anything that we have is empathy. We get you, we understand you, and more than anything, we've been there. Our bar has no restrictions. Come as you are, be as crazy as you want to be, dress how you feel. We include everyone because we're all different. We're all a little bit unique, and at the end of the day, we're all gold. Ain't that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so I think if you're struggling and you find yourself on Goalie Island, reach out to Goalies Matter. Reach out to any other goalie, because I guarantee you, you're going to find similarities. You're going to find support. You're going to find somebody who gets you as well. And you can do the same thing too. Like if you saw, of course, we all know that social media is the best of what life has to offer. No one's going to put out there like, yep, here's a game. I got rolled up 23-2. Guessing nobody's putting that out there. But I do want to reach out to goalies because I swear to God, this should be another podcast, is the number of people who put fucking offensive highlights on there and no goalie save highlights, right?
Our saves look cool.
Our games are badass, right? I don't get this whole like scoring highlights all the damn time. And
We don't look cool as often, but we look cool.
We do. We can make some badass saves, Holy shit. So one of these days, somebody will get the idea that, goalies are cool too. But again, hey, you know what? We'll live on our island. We'll party. We'll do whatever we got to. Come on aboard. We'll be accepting you. One-way cruise to Goalie Island. Instead of making it smaller, make it bigger, as big as possible, and we'll party together.
Party never stops at Goalie Island.
Oh, hell no, absolutely not. So, anyways, let's not make the island seem like a lily pad in a swamp anymore. Let's make this feel like a deserted island in the middle of the Pacific where we can party. Sun is shining, crystal blue waters, blue skies, and one giant goalie party. So let's not shrink the island. Let's make it bigger. Life is short to worry about what others think or what they say about us, or how one bad performance makes us feel. So let's find the good in our lives, because there ain't no much more to live for, right?
There is.
Any final thoughts you want to talk about with Goalie Island before we get out of here?
I think I just want to preface with this and just leave this. Goalie Island can be isolating at times, and it can be lonely, and it can lead you down a road of depression and a road of, some mental struggles and stuff. But there's always, on Goalie Island, there's always another goalie who's going to walk with you through that. And I think that, reaching out to other goalies, or, making sure that you are, if you have a goalie partner, be goalie partners. Don't be competitive against each other. You are there to push each other to be the best goalie and the best version of yourself as possible. And that includes picking each other up when one's down, and, pushing each other to become better goalies and better people. And I think that that's what Goalie Island is ultimately.
And you just said the greatest thing possible, right? There's no reason to isolate the other goalie. Bring them in, because you know what the team wants to do. Every team wants to do. They want to separate the goalies, right? They want to say, this goalie, Lindsay is better than Laura, right? They want to do that, right? They want to gravitate towards the better goalie all the time,
yep.
right?
They want to pit you against each other.
They absolutely do. But the thing is if the true goalies can support one another, join the Goalie Island. Let's do it together, right? And not let the team bring us apart, because they're going to try to do that. Coaches will try to do that. They'll try to isolate, like we'll keep playing this person without really any justification. Like the goalie one could really be struggling, but they just have some crazy thing out for them. They really like them, but they hate goalie number two, and they'll never play them no matter how good they are in practice. And same concept, like they're doing that on purpose for whatever reason, but they're trying to pin each other against one another. So let's not let that happen. If you can see that happening, immediately just say, I don't know what they're doing. We're in this together. I don't care what they say. If I'm going in for every 5 series, if I'm going in for 5 repetitions and you're getting 2, no, let's try to split that. Let's split it evenly, 3 and 3, or whatever the case may be. All right, Rach, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. There you have it. Goalie Island. It's real. No doubt about it. But we don't have to be on it alone. I'd like to thank you, Rachel, for co-hosting with me on this episode. I appreciate you and everything you stand for. Hey, we're still here fighting today, the good fight. So I love you, sis. You're awesome.
Thank you.
All right, folks, life is tough, so let's make the most of it while we still can. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. So let's find the good in our lives, and let's make Goalie Island a party. So who wants to join us? Thank you. We're out.